Have you ever really truly stopped and wondered, what is this thing we call consciousness? This constant river of thoughts and feelings and just awareness? Well, today we're diving into an ancient method, a surprisingly scientific one, for understanding the very tool we use to experience everything, our own attention.
I mean, it's the biggest question of them all, right? What is this awareness of my voice right now, the light from your screen, your own thoughts popping up? It's the most real thing in our lives, but somehow it's also the most mysterious.
And for all our amazing scientific progress, we can see to the edge of the universe, the actual nature of consciousness is still a total mystery. It's kind of like we've built this incredible telescope to map the cosmos, but we have no clue what the eyepiece we're looking through is actually made of. And look, this isn't just some small gap in our knowledge. As the book Balancing the Mind points out, there is literally no agreement in science or philosophy about what consciousness even is. It's a huge, fundamental challenge to how we see the world. We've got these unbelievable tools for looking outward at the universe and for looking at the physical brain. But the second we try to look at the experience of the mind itself, we just hit a wall, a kind of darkness. And that's what our source here calls the great blind spot. So what if we've been looking in the wrong direction this whole time? What if the key isn't out there in objective data, but it's actually in here? This is where a completely different tradition comes in with a radical idea. You see, the contemplative method isn't about studying the brain from the outside looking in. It's about exploring the mind from the inside out. It's about using the only tool that can directly observe consciousness, which is consciousness itself. And our guide for this whole journey is this incredible training manual for the mind, written more than 600 years ago by a Tibetan scholar named Shangpa. He laid out this unbelievably detailed roadmap for inner exploration. Now, it's so important to get this. This isn't about religion or blind faith. It's a practical, testable, step-by-step method for training your attention. The whole idea is to turn our awareness from, a scattered, flickering candle flame into a powerful, focused laser beam. So the goal of all this intense training is to reach a very specific, very powerful state of mind, a balanced state that makes real inner discovery even possible. And that state is called quiescence, or shamatha in Sanskrit. Think of it as this amazing meditative balance, where your attention is both incredibly stable and exceptionally clear at the same time, like a mind that's both rock solid and totally crystal clear. I mean, just imagine having that level of control over your own mind, to be completely free from distraction, from that mental fog. So how do you do it? Well, the master Tsongkhapa laid out this whole path, almost like a coach training an athlete for the Olympics, but for your mind. So the path to quiescence is the super systematic training program. You start by just setting up the right conditions, a good environment. Then you pick one single thing to focus on, and finally you start the real work, training your attention in short, focused bursts over and over again. But of course, anyone who's ever tried to meditate for even 60 seconds knows the mind does not just cooperate. It's got a mind of its own, right? Tsongkhapa identified two main problems, two big imbalances that we all struggle with. He called them laxity. That's when the mind gets dull and foggy and starts to sink, and excitation. That's when it gets hyperactive and scattered and flies off in a million different directions. Sound familiar?
Yeah, I thought so.
Tsongkhapa had this absolutely brilliant analogy for this problem. He said an untrained mind trying to focus is like a cat in deep water. It has nothing to stand on. So it's either going to sink down into that murky dullness of laxity, or it's going to freak out and thrash around on the surface in a state of excitation. So how do you stop the cat from sinking or thrashing? Well, the training is all about becoming a skilled technician of your own mind. You learn to spot these two states happening in real time and then apply the right antidote. If your mind is getting dull, you wake it up. If it's agitated, you calm it down. It's this constant, dynamic balancing act. Okay, so what's the point of all this? What's the real payoff for all this intense inner work? What happens when you actually get to that state of quiescence, that perfect balance? The result is a state called pliancy, where your mind basically becomes this incredibly powerful, super responsive tool. It's this profound state of mental and even physical fitness, where your awareness is just completely and effortlessly at your command. And here is the absolute key. Getting to this state, that's not the final goal. The goal is to build the perfect scientific instrument. It's like building the James Webb Space Telescope, but for exploring inner space. Because with that instrument, you can finally explore the one place that normal third-person science can never, ever get to, our own direct first-person experience of what it's like to be conscious. And this is where it all comes together, the ancient and the modern. This contemplative practice offers a bridge, a way to sharpen our own consciousness so that we can explore consciousness itself. It's basically a 2,500-year-old answer to one of the biggest questions in science today. This just completely reframes how we think about our minds. It's not some fixed thing we're stuck with, it's a skill we can train. So what if the most advanced laboratory for studying consciousness isn't in a university building, but it's the one we carry around with us every single moment of every day? And that really leaves us with a final, pretty mind-blowing thought from this text. What if the solution to science's great blind spot has been waiting right here for us the whole time? Not out there in the stars, but right here, behind our own eyes.